Good morning once again, guys. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you're all doing fine in this pandemic. It's really difficult to at this time. It's really a big challenge for us. But I hope you're able to stay safe and keep well. As mentioned a while ago, I uploaded a file, an RMD file, an R Markdown file, which is the file we're going to use in the next two sessions. And then I'll post another file for as a continuation of our discussion on data visualization. So may I invite you to please open the file, the R Markdown file. So let me share that screen. Okay. So this was let's rename this December 3. Okay, December 3. Okay, can you see the screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anyone having problem with seeing the screen? Okay, pakichat na lang ha kung may problem kayo. At anytime along the discussion, guys, if you have questions, please feel free to chat or to unmute yourself and I'll recognize you. Okay, so we know, guys, how to install install packages in R. There are a couple of packages that we'd like to install now. So this is one. These are the packages: NYC Flights 13, ggplot2, dplyr, gapminder, cable extra, readr, patchwork, scales, stringr. There are other packages that we're going to use in the course of this subject, but I'm going to give you a few minutes, guys, to install this. So kindly run this. You may run this chunk. Okay, I have already run this chunk, so I won't rerun it. So I'll give you a few minutes. I'll pause our recording for a while, and then please remind me to continue recording after you have installed the package. Okay, so these are the packages that we're going to use. Now I leave it to you guys to do a little extra research on what these packages do. We already know that ggplot2 is a grammar of graphics package. It's very powerful as in the use of data visualization. dplyr is used for data management, for data manipulation, data wrangling. We're going to have a taste of this data in a little while. Okay, the rest, guys, I want you to research, of course, except for NYC flights because we're going to use this morning, what these other packages does. What are their capabilities? So once we have installed them, we can now run this code and require. Now, automatically, you know that we cannot just use these packages automatically, even if they're already installed. We only install them once, but we need to give this command library or require the same. Okay, that's the same if we use the code require NYC flights 13. Okay, so this will give us the same result, library or require NYC flights. Okay, so I hope you have run this chunk so that these packages are available for us. Okay, so briefly, let's have a introduction to our topic, which is data visualization, making use of what we call the grammar of graphics. So let me just read through some of this. Grammar of graphics, it's a framework. It's a framework for data visualization. And there are many packages that make use of the grammar of graphics as their foundation for their software. For R, the most popular package is ggplot2 for data visualization, making use of the grammar of graphics. Now, what's the context behind grammar of graphics? Just like in any language, for example, in English, there are several elements that comprise a sentence. Okay, there are nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, etc. Now, in order to come up with a coherent sentence, there has to be order. in the words. We just don't combine these words and come up with a meaning. We can't do that. So this is what we call linguistic grammar. In the same manner, the grammar of graphics allows us to construct visualizations making use of particular grammars. Yung grammar na to, guys, first created by Wilkinson. Si Leland Wilkinson. Okay, I think it was created 1998, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe earlier. But Leland Wilkinson has written books about this. Okay, so you may want to explore this on your own. Okay, so, and this has been implemented in, as I said a while ago, many software platforms like R and Tableau. Chat lang tayo, guys. Sino sa inyo who among you have used Tableau before? Yes or no lang? Have you made use of Tableau software before? No? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Now, siguro, guys, I would encourage you also as a personal project, no, to learn Tableau kasi maganda rin yung Tableau, very powerful din. And what's good is that may student version siya, no? So let me just show this to you. And I have that installed in my, do I have it installed in my PC? Let me check. Okay, so let me just show it. Wait, let me change the share. Okay, if you Google it, Tableau, may free download, may free public download. Pwede nyo siya i-download, tapos pwede nyo, ito yung logo ng Tableau. No? Very powerful software. May freeware siya for students, which is good, no? Hindi, sorry, course pala to. Tableau, there, w.tableau.com. Alright, so it's used for data visualization, no? Parang ggplot2. Pero pareho silang platform na ginagamit yung grammar of graphics. Okay? So, in your own time, guys, I would suggest that you marami naman tutorials ng Tableau, and what's good is that may free version. Yun nga lang, hindi mo siya masisave, but it's okay, no? Importante, guys, matutunan niyo siyang magamit. Okay, so let me go back to what we were discussing a while ago. Okay, so Tableau yun, gumagamit din siya ng grammar of graphics, and powerful din siya for data visualization. It's one of the in-demand or widely used na software. Okay. Now, ang isang plot, guys, is a graph or a data visualization can be decomposed into several components. That's what actually grammar of graphics does, no? Sa grammar of graphics, compartmentalize natin, or we put into components or layers the different parts of a data visualization graph, no? So, three of the most essential components are found here. Yung data mismo, okay, ano ba yung data na ipa-plot natin? Aesthetic. So the aesthetic are geometric, are the attributes of the geometric object. Kunyari, yung X and Y position, sino ilalagay natin sa X-axis? Sino ilalagay natin sa Y-axis? Yung colors, yung shapes, yung sizes, these are part of what we call aesthetics. So aesthetic attributes or qualities are mapped to variables in the data set. So yun ang ginagamit natin sa aesthetics. And then lastly, yung geom, okay? Well, not lastly, the third component that we're looking at is geom, because there are other components, no? Yung geometric component naman, guys, ito kung anong type ng object. So will it be a circle? Will it be a bar? Will it be a scatter plot? Ito yung geom, no? So these are the three basic components that we're going to focus on in this subject. There are other components like the facet, the position. Okay, itong dalawang to. We're going to also touch this, but briefly lang. Okay. There are other more complex components dun sa GG, sa grammar of graphics, but we will not be considering them in this subject. Okay? So generally speaking, the grammar of graphics allows us a high degree of customization of plots. So unlike, kunyari, kung gagamit tayo ng Excel, di ka ho na yung mga, ano doon, yung mga plots doon. Hindi tayo masyado makakapag-modify ng plot sa Excel. Yun ang disadvantage sa Excel. Pero sa sa ggplot, guys, sa ggplot 2, tayo magsasawa guys ng ano ng different types of plots that we can customize for our purposes or for our needs. Okay, so in this portion of our topics, we're going to focus only on 5 named ranges, no? Named graphs. Ito yung pinaka-basic na mga plots: scatter plots, line graphs, histograms, box plots, and bar plots. I'll throw in some other examples, but this will be our focus for this subject. Okay, we're going to make use of a package called NYC Flights. These are actually data coming from the New York City. Ito yung record ng flights coming to and from the airport sa New York City. I use this kasi maraming variables dito and maganda siya for data visualization. Okay, so let's first see ano ba yung laman nitong ano na to, nitong package na to. So let's run this portion. Control Enter. Okay, so dito, oops, no results found. Bakit kaya? Narun ko na ba siya? Okay, ayaw mag-run. Okay. NYC Flights 2013, dalawang NYC Flights 13. No results found. How about sa inyo guys? Does it work? I wonder why.
Same as you, sir.
Wala, no?
Yes, sir. Wala siya.
Okay, sige. I-check lang natin ha. Sige. I-google na lang natin guys. I'm wondering why it doesn't run here. So let's see. Can you try to Google it guys kung ano yung NYC Flights? Doon na tayo kumuha ng information. NYC Flights package. NYC Flights package 13. Okay. So dito guys, can you see the screen? Ginugol ko siya, tapos sabi dito, NYC Flights 13 are flights that departed New York City in 2013. Actually, hindi lang departed, pati arrival yan. No? It's airline on-time data for all flights departing New York City in 2013. It also includes metadata. Metadata is data about the data or information about the data, about airlines, airports, weather, and planes. Okay, so may link dito sa ilalim sa package. By the way, the author is Hadley Wickham. No? Si Hadley Wickham guys ang nag-create ng ano ng ggplot2. Yun din pala yun. Okay. All right. So let's go back, guys, to our discussion. Okay. So this is a data set on flights coming to and from New York City. Okay. All right. I-view nga muna natin. So what's the name of the? Wait. Okay. So yung New York City flights, maraming ano yan, maraming data. So ang kukunin lang natin guys si flights. So let's run this. Data, flights. Okay, and then let's run view. So we access the data flights kasi si NYC maraming data yan. So isa doon yung flights. And then let's view the flights, 'di ba? If you recall, pag view na yung view function, capital V, allows us to have a parang spreadsheet display of the data. Okay, so you see guys, kita nyo, marami tayong variables dito, yung year, kung anong month, each one of this is a flight, no? So 2013, January 1, departure time 5:17, scheduled departure time is 5:15. That's why we have a departure delay here. So na-delay siya ng 2 minutes, no? Kasi dapat ang departure time, ang departure time 5:17, ang dapat na scheduled niya 5:15, so na-delay siya ng 2 minutes. Arrival, kung anong oras siya dumating sa destination, 8:30. Tapos, arrival time, actual arrival time, scheduled arrival time, 8:19. So na-delay siya, no? Dapat dumating ng 8:19 pero ang actual arrival is 8:30. So there was an 11-minute delay. And carrier, kung anong airline yan, okay? Flight number, tail number, some information here, okay? Origin, kasi sa New York, guys, tatlong airports yan. So may JFK, may LaGuardia, tsaka may Newark. And then destination, kung anong airport pumunta to, no? Alright? And there are some other information here. Distance, okay? And then hours, minutes, etc. Okay? Any questions with the data, guys? Any questions with the data? Okay. Thank you. Okay, good. Salamat, ha? Alright, so let's go back to our code. Okay, so yung code na to, guys, yung function na to, yung data, allows us to access the data, no? Kaya nga, okay. So take a look at this, guys. Nung rinan natin si data flights, okay, lumabas yung data na to, no? So there are 336,000 rows or 336,000 observations. All right. So if you want R to print the first 10 rows, alalin to head. First, depende kung ilang rows ang gusto nyo. But if we don't write this, yung first 6 ang ibibigay niya. But here we identified, we want the first 10 rows from the data flights, from the data flights. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, i-generate niya. Okay. Okay, so first 10 rows, no? Tapos, hindi na niya pinakita yung buo, no? Sabi na lang niya dito, with 14 more variables. Okay? So that's a quick way to see ano ba yung laman nitong data na to. So it's a table. Table just means a table. So explain natin yan later on kung ano yung klaseng structure yan, yung table. Alright, any questions so far? Paki-chat lang or you can unmute yourself.
None, sir.
Check ko lang ha.
None, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bea, error. Ano yung error? Ano yung hindi nag-run? If you can chat or if you can unmute yourself, okay lang naman. Data flights. Data set flights not found. Na-install nyo na ba yung NYC Flights 13? Dapat na-install muna yun, ha? Kasi si NYC Flights 13, dun sa package na yun, ando dun si flights. So make sure, paki-check nga, Bea, tsaka make sure that this has been installed and then na-require na, no? NYC, Bayan, NYC. John Peter, NYC, hindi NY, New York City flights. Oo. Oo nga, yung sa akin din nagtatanga ako. Yung NYC flights, sa akin din, hindi siya nakikita. Pero the data is still there, no? Yung ano lang, yung help about information about NYC flights, hindi lang daw niya makita. But the data is existing kasi nung nag-data tayo dito, okay, when we run this command, ito, yung data flights, makikita natin sa global environment natin na it's existing, no? Yan. It's there. Okay? In fact, when we viewed that data, okay, pinakita sa atin na ito yung laman ng data na yan, no? Okay, paki-check na lang yung ano yung code nyo kung tama ano. Pero yung NYC flights talaga diyan talagang sa I think sa iba din hindi siya nag-run. Okay? Asking me to install our tools. Is that correct? Check natin. Okay. Siguro dyan ganito gawin natin after this class, if you want, I can stay behind if you have questions, no? Kasi I might not be able to answer that now kasi mukhang hindi ko alam yung syntax na ano. It's asking me to install our tools. I don't have a ready answer for that now. Okay? Right. Sorry, Jenna. So you can stay behind afterwards. As tingnan natin. Let's try to decipher that. All right. Any more questions? Oh, sige. Thank you, John. Thank you. All right. So it's always good practice, guys, to understand what the data frame, what the table that we're working on is, what the data frame or table you're working on. So some of the most powerful codes or functions in R that we can use is structure, glimpse, summary, and names. These are just examples. There are others. No? So sige, i-run natin to isa-isa, guys, kasi para makita natin kung ano yung result if we run each of the codes. So let's get the structure of flights. Okay, so what does structure code give us? Okay, so it gives us a summary of the of the data. It tells us that this is a table. It's another word for table, special kind of table. And there are 336 observations all in all by 19 variables. Okay, so it's a table, okay, / data frame. And it gives us a description of, remember $year, it means this specific column $. It's an integer, okay? So these are the elements there. Later on, we're going to change this because we don't want the year to be treated as an integer, but we want it to be treated as a date and time. Then ganun din si month, si day. Okay, it gives us the type of data, either numeric or character, for example, carrier. So we met this when we looked at data types, right? So may mga numbers, may mga numerical, may mga characters, may integers, and dito may time series, no? Okay, so if we haven't met this, this is an example of a time series. Itong POSIX city. All right. So at least we have an understanding of what our data looks like. May nag-chat yata. Check. Thank you, Bea. Thank you. That's good. All right. So structure. Then we can also use the glimpse. Okay, si glimpse, guys, galing kay, let me check. Hindi yata. I'm not sure where glimpse came from, but sige, i-double check ko na lang. Okay. So let's run glimpse. Okay, ano naman binibigay ni glimpse? Okay, almost similar lang, di ba? Almost similar lang siya. Andito din yung mga variables natin. Dinefine din niya kung ano yung number of observations, ano yung number of variables. Okay? Ganun din ang binibigay ni glimpse. Quite similar to structure. And then how about summary? So let's run summary. Okay, what do you find there, guys, sa summary? So, andyan na naman yung bawat variable, guys. Ano? Tapos, ang ginawa ni R ng summary function, if it's a numeric or an integer, ang ginagawa niya, kinukuha niya yung kinukuha niya yung median, yung mean, yung first quartile, third quartile, yung maximum value. So, ganun ginawa niya kay year kasi kinonsider niya to as numeric, no? Ganun din si month. Of course, this doesn't, yung mga, walang meaning to mga to, no? Kasi hindi naman talaga siya numeric in a sense. Ganun din si day. Okay, so si departure time, ganun din. Delays, etc. Now, for the characters, guys, what do you notice about the characters? Pag character kasi, hindi naman natin pwede makuha yung mean, median, mode yan, tsaka mga quartiles yan. So, ang ginagawa lang, pag character, just a count, no? Ilan ilang observations for career. Okay, ganun din kay tail number, which is a character also, origin, destination. All right? So this is what the summary function gives us. No? Okay, and lastly, meron tayong i-X ko na to. Yung names. X ko na rin to. Okay, how about the names? Okay, it gives us the list of the variables. No? Okay, we have looked at this for functions that we can use in order to have at least a glimpse or a summary of what the data is all about. Sabi natin si structure, binibigay sa atin kung ilan yung mga variables, di ba? Anong klaseng data frame to. Ganon din si glimpse. Then, yung summary, medyo mathematical, nabibigay sa atin yung mean, median, mode ng mga numeric variables. At saka yung count ng character variables. Okay. Now, we're going to focus on, kasi masyado malaki yung data natin, if i-filter natin siya, ibig sabihin, we're going to get a subset from our data. So, yung data natin, flights, di ba? Ngayon, sa flights, tingnan natin dito Flights. So, here we have, dun sa carrier, we have several carriers. No? We have several carriers here. May mga, dun sa metadata, nakalagay dun kung ano yung mga basics na yan, ano yung ibig sabihin ng mga symbols na yan. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we're going to filter the data and just use Alaska Airlines. Gusto lang natin tingnan yung mga flights ng Alaska Airlines, no? Leaving New York City in 2013. So yung mga flights na palabas ng New York City na Alaska Airlines, kukunin natin, guys, from our data flights. Okay, we're going to use a very powerful operator. No? Ito yung percentage greater than percentage. Okay, this is what we call a pipe operator. Okay, yung pipe operator na yan, galing kay ano yan? Galing kay dplyr. This is coming from dplyr package. Okay, and dplyr package is very powerful for data manipulation, for data wrangling. Okay, so this is our code, guys. Tingnan nyo you don't have to understand everything first, but simple lang siya. Okay, we're going to create an object, another data, okay? Another data called Alaska flights. And then, remember, this is your assignment operator. Manggagaling siya sa flights na dataset. Tapos ito, guys, yung pipe operator na to. Ang ibig sabihin nito, and then, means and then. So yung pipe operator na to, ang ibig sabihin nito, and then. Sa Tagalog, pagkatapos, parang gano'n, no? So, ang sinasabi nito, gamitin natin yung flights na data, and then, i-filter natin siya. Yun lang yun, no? So, there's this function in dplyr called filter. Okay? Ano i-filter daw? Yung carrier, okay, take note. Ang ginamit dito na equal to, hindi equal to lang. Equal to. No? Now, si Alaska Airlines, ang code niya, AS. Okay, so this is how our code looks like. So, mangyayari dito, guys, mag-create ng panibagong dataset. Ang pangalan niya, hindi na flights. Ang pangalan niya, Alaska Flights. So, separate lang yan separate siya dun sa flights. So, panibagong dataset yan. And, ano siya, mas malaki o mas maliit? Mas maliit siya na dataset kasi ang isasama lang si Alaska Airlines na may ticker code na AS. So when we generate this, so let's generate this, run. Okay. So tingnan nyo dito, guys, sa global environment natin, meron ng Alaska flights. No? Okay. If we click that, guys, yung Alaska flights yan, tingnan nyo. So ilan na lang yung entries natin? Ilang rows na lang to? 714 observations. Okay. So ibig sabihin, 714 observations yung mga flights from New York City to most probably this is Alaska, no? Kasi Alaska Airlines to it. So ito, if you take a look at this, guys, sa carrier, you can only find one type of carrier there. Lahat yan, yung 714 na yan, lahat Alaska Airlines yan, AS yan. Okay, let me pause for a while. Any questions? So, paki-chat nga, guys, kung clear so far. Paki-yes na lang, no? Yeah, okay naman, oo. So, John, thank you, ha. Ibig sabihin, na-install na yung NYC flights mo. Okay, hindi ko lang alam kung bakit hindi siya mag-install, no? Pero mamaya, sige dyan, tingnan natin, ha. Sige, okay, thank you, guys. Okay, no questions? Flights, object flights not found. Na-library mo na ba si Jan? Nag-library NYC flights ka na? Have you run this, itong library flights? Kasi pwede mo siya na-install tapos baka hindi mo pa na-run tong library. Remember, guys, when you install a package, it doesn't mean automatically available yan, no? You need to run this code library or require, no? Pareho lang yan. Have you run that, John? Okay, sige, subukan mo ulit, ha? Tapos tell me kung anong nangyari, ha? Okay. Dapat nandito yung flights mo sa global environment, ha? Sige. All right. So, let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Okay. Okay. So now, guys, we have created an object. Si Alaska flights, 714 observations lang siya. And this was filtered out of yung flights, flights dataset. Okay. Okay, so in-explain na natin kung anong ibig sabihin yan. By the way, guys, when you write this, kasi mahaba yung yung percentage, tapos greater than percentage. Okay. Mahirap isulat. Pwede ang shortcut niyan, Control-Shift-M. Subukan nyo nga guys, tanggalin nyo to. Practicein nyo lang muna. Type nyo percentage greater than percentage. Okay? Yun ang regular way to write that. Pero pwede namang delete ko siya. Control-Shift-M shortcut. Okay? Mas mabilis, no? Sa Mac ba, Control-Shift-M ba o Command-Shift-M? Paki-check nga sa Mac, guys, please. Mac users, anong Control-Shift-M ba rin o Command-Shift-M?
Control-Shift-M, sir.
Okay, thank you. Lagay ko na dito. Also for Mac. Same. Alright, so let's now go to this sa plots, guys. Yun naman talaga gusto natin, ano? So, yung first na titingnan natin, yung first of the 5 named graphs is our scatter plots. Ito yung pinaka-popular, guys, especially for finance or economics, yung scatter plots, which is what we call a bivariate plot. Bakit siya bivariate? Kasi we use scatter plots to establish the relationship between two variables. So, ang scatter plot, you have an x-axis and a y-axis. On one axis is variable 1, on the other axis is variable 2. Where we find the relationship between two variables. Okay, most common yan, guys, no? One of the most common plots. And it allows us to see the relationship between two variables and the trend also in one variable versus another. Okay, let's take a look at this code, guys. Tingnan muna natin to, ha? So ito na tinatawag natin na layering. So when we create plots in ggplot2, yung code na gagamitin natin is ggplot. Okay? This is the code function to use when we're plotting, making use of ggplot2. Ang first layer na titingnan natin, guys, ano sabi natin dito? 3 layers yung tinitingnan natin, di ba? What's the first layer? Data. Yan ang unang dapat natin i-identify. Data. Okay? So sa plot na to, going back here, row 114, in this plot, so we have data. Ang gagamitin natin si Alaska flights. Okay? And then, sabi natin, di ba yung kasunod, yung aesthetics. No? Ito yun, aesthetic. Ang complete code niyan is mapping is equal to aesthetic. So sa aesthetic, dinidefine natin, guys, kung ano yung x variable natin at saka y variable natin. Later on, dadagdagan natin to ng color, etc., etc. So we find here in this code, yung first, yung layers natin, no? Yung unang layer is the data, pangalawa yung aesthetic natin. Okay? So let's see. Let's run this. Okay, ano nangyari, guys? What happened? Bakit ganito na yung plot natin? So if we're going to examine this, guys, you have, on the y-axis, you have departure delay. On the x-axis, you have departure delay. On the y-axis, you have arrival delay. And that's what we defined sa aesthetic natin. X is equal to departure delay, y is equal to arrival delay. Now, how come, guys? How come walang nakaplot? Kasi yung nakaplot dapat, guys, that will be defined by a third layer. Sorry. Ang third layer na yan, guys, anong tawag natin dyan? Yung geom. So we haven't defined, guys, kung ano bang geom ang gagamitin para i-plot yung bivariate data natin. Okay. So what happens now? Okay, let's take a look now with this. What happens when we now add another layer? So the first line here is the same as the first line here. Pareho lang yan, di ba? Notice that when we add a layer, we put it at the end of the line. No? Do not put it at the beginning of the line kasi magkaka-error yan. It should be placed at the end of a line of code. So the plus here, guys, indicates that we're going to add another layer. Dito sa first line of code natin, magkasama sa isang line yung data at saka yung layer na aesthetics. Pero magkaibang layer yan, guys. Ha? And let's add another layer. The layer that we're adding is geom_point. Now this will define anong klaseng plot ang pinapagawa natin kay R. No? What kind of plot are we asking R to create? So let's run this. There. Okay. So can you see, guys, our plot? So this is our first plot for using ggplot2, where we were able to plot yung bivariate data, arrival delay, and departure delay. Yan ang bivariate data natin. Okay, so take a look again, guys. ggplot2 yung code. Tapos define natin yung data. Take note, dito nga pala, I failed to tell you, we need not write yung data is equal to. Understood na yan, maintindihan ng ggplot2 yan. But as a start, siguro mas maganda, it will be good practice to write, no? To write data is equal to. Okay, later on, pag medyo sanay na, dinadrop na yung data is equal to. Okay, then mapping is equal to aesthetics. Now take note dito din, tinanggal si x is equal to at saka si y is equal to. Kasi by default, the first variable here will refer to the x-axis, and the second variable refers to the y-axis. Then, as I mentioned a while ago, yung plus, yung geom point. Okay, pause muna ako, guys. You might have questions. Kung wala, guys, ang question ko na lang, guys, kung so far, okay ba tayo? Clear ba? Paki-yes na lang or no. Okay, good. Salamat, ha. Guys, appreciate your feedback. These are important to me. Yung iba, naman please, kung okay lang so far. Apat pa lang nag-yes. Yan. Thank you. Yan. Thank you. Sige, salamat, ha. Okay. Appreciate, guys, yung mga feedback nyo. Importante sa akin yan kasi if I need to stop to re-explain some concepts, I will do that. Kasi hindi, as much as possible, gusto natin maraming ma-cover, pero I would rather that we have quality over quantity. Okay? Okay, good. So far, clear tayo? Okay. Okay, sige, let's try to answer these questions, guys. Number one, what do you think is the relationship between departure delay and arrival delay? Ano sa tingin yung relationship nila? So, is it positive? Pag positive kasi, when one variable increases, the other variable also decreases. Increases pala. When one variable decreases, the other variable decreases. So that's what we mean by positive. Pag negative naman, inverse yung relationship nila. Pag tumataas yung value ng isang variable, the other variable decreases. So what do you think is the relationship, guys?
Positive, sir.
Yeah, correct. Thank you. It's positive, no? Positive siya. Makikita natin yan, guys, sa trend. Imagine a line. No? Imagine a line going up here. No? So it indicates that it's a positive relationship. Ibig sabihin, no? For example, ito. Na-delay yung departure. Okay? Na-delay yung departure ng, ilang kaya ito? Mga 175, mga 165 siguro. Mga 165 or 170. Na-delay ng 170 minutes. Arrival got delayed also by 200 minutes. So habang tumataas yung departure delay, tumataas din yung arrival delay. Okay, so that's what this data is telling us. Now, ano daw yung warning message when running the code? May natanggap kayong warning message na ganito? You see this, guys? Removed 5 rows containing missing values.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ibig sabihin, either wala siyang departure delay or arrival delay. Baka hindi nalagay or there must have been an error in recording. Okay? Dyan, sir, sa nakuha value sa geom point. Part of the, ano yan, John, part of the code. Pag sinulat natin na geom point, no, geom underscore point, you're telling R na ang pag-plot mo dun sa X at saka Y axis coming from the data Alaska flights should be a scatter plot. No? Scatter plot siya. Pag geom point, that's the code for scatter plot. Okay, John, okay yun? Okay, sige. Thank you, John. All right. So, okay, ano yung warning, guys? Kasi may nakita daw si R na ng mga missing values. So pag ganyan, ang ginagawa niya, tinatanggal niya yan, guys, no? Tinatanggal niya yung mga missing values. Kaya nagsabi siya, remove 5 rows containing missing values. Yan. Okay. So that's what the warning message was, no? And then comment on the clustering of the data. No, notice na may mga clustering dito. Dito malapit sa 0, 0, no? Ano ibig sabihin yan? Tapos dito pa nga may mga mukhang negative. Ano ibig sabihin ng negative dun sa departure delay? Diba, guys? Kasi ito 0 and then ito 0. Ibig sabihin, may mga negative values. May mga negative 1, negative 2. Ano kaya ibig sabihin nun?
So sila yung yung mas napaaga yung pag-alis.
Correct, no? Correct. Ibig sabihin, the flight departed earlier than the scheduled departure. Okay? So there seems to be a congregation here, di ba? Mukhang nagko-congregate siya dito sa around 0, 0, no? Or around a small negative, no? Ibig sabihin, for most of the flights, they departed on time or a little ahead of schedule, no? So makikita din natin to, guys, kung umalis ng umaga, mas maaga, dadating din na mas maaga yung flight, no? Negative din yung arrival delay nila. So there is really a positive relationship between yung departure delay at saka arrival delay. Okay, sabi natin kanina, ano yung clustering dito sa points near 0, 0? Many flights were on time as far as departure and on time as far as arrival. So yun ang pinapakita sa atin itong clustering nito. Siyempre kung management tayo, kunyari ng NYC airports, magfo-focus tayo dito sa mga sa mga problematic na to, no? So these are problematic flights kasi masyado malaking delay ng departure and as a result, naging delay yung arrival. Okay, so more on a management perspective, no? All right. Okay, now what happens, guys? Tingnan natin tong code na to. Same thing guys, pero ang ginamit nito dito, hindi geom point but geom smooth. So what's the difference between geom point and geom smooth? So i-run nga natin to. Okay, what do you see, guys? So with just a change in the layer, guys, instead of geom point, ang ginamit natin geom smooth. So ibang-iba na yung di ba yung plot? So it was now converted into a smooth line. Okay, so this is now more of a line. Tapos may band siya dito, May most probably this is a 95% interval, confidence interval. Okay, so what we're trying to point out here, guys, is you change the the layer for the geometric, mababago yung natin, yung plot natin. So geom point versus geom smooth. Okay, by the way, na-plot ba siya dito? Hindi na-plot. Bakit nga ba hindi na-plot? Hindi siya napaplot dito. Dapat napaplot din dito yan Pero sige, anyway. Alright? So, any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Sorry guys kung medyo deliberate tayo kasi nagsisimula tayo I'm not rushing up things. Ayoko yung minamadali ko. Gusto kong paramihan ng codes kagad mara natin. Hindi, I would rather that we savor, guys, kung anong tingnan natin, kung anong ginagawa natin, kung anong nangyayari. Okay. Sige, may question yata. Thank you, Jan. Thank you for that feedback. Salamat. Good. Okay, good. Salamat, Jan. Thank you. I'm happy that you are able to follow. Okay. Ito nga, guys, pakisagot nga nito. I mentioned this a while ago. Yung plus natin, pag mag-a-add tayo ng layer, dapat nasa end of the line siya. What happens if you put it at the beginning of the line? Pakiran nga. Tapos tell me what happened.
Error.
Yeah, error. Thank you. Error siya, Diba? Error. Bakit kaya error? Sabi ko kanina, kailangan pag nag-a-add tayo ng layers sa ggplot, the added layer, yung plus dapat at the end of the line of a code. Wag not at the beginning. Otherwise, as I mentioned a while ago, that will generate an error term. Yan. Cannot. Okay? Hindi natin pwedeng ma-add si plus at the beginning of a new line. Quirk siya ng code ni ggplot. Okay. Let's look at overplotting. Sabi natin kanina, when we plotted this, medyo may aggregation ng points dito, So, medyo mahirap maintindihan to. Alam lang natin na medyo may concentration ng mga points diyan. Pero hindi siya masyado makita. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is nag-overplot siya doon. It can cause confusion. It's hard to tell whether the true number of points that are plotted. Hindi natin malaman talaga kung ilan yung mga nag-congregate dyan, di ba? Kasi parang nagpatong-patong na siya. You can have one plot there, tapos baka maraming dyan, baka 100 data points yung naka on top of each other, So it's quite difficult to really visualize and it might cause confusion. So how do we address yung overplotting na ganyan? We can adjust the transparency, okay, using alpha. Alpha is a measure of transparency. So alpha will range from 0 to 1. Okay? Ang 0 transparent, ang 1 opaque, yung may color yung fill niya. Pag 0, walang color. So it ranges from 0 to 1, 0 being transparent and 1 being yung opaque talaga, So let's plot the same, okay? Okay, tingnan niyo guys yung geom point sa geom point yan, i-define natin na yung alpha niya, which is used for transparency, di ba? Gawin mo natin 1, Gawin mo natin 1 Okay, let's see what happens. So same thing, guys. Alaska flights then, departure delay is X, arrival delay is Y, G yung point then, and let's see what happens if alpha is equal to 1. Ayan. Yung pareho din ng kanina, di ba? Yun din siya. Ibig sabihin, may fill yung, yung laman ng circle, no? Yung point. Now, if you make it 0, what happens if it's 0? Run natin. Wala na tayong nakita. Kasi walang fill na yan di ba? Wala na siyang fill. Okay, so if we put it at 0.1, ayan, okay? So napapansin natin na may shading kaso very minimal lang, no? That's a 0.1 shading. Okay, and then you can experiment, guys. O at least dito medyo kita yung mga points, di ba? Yung clustering talaga dito sa itim na to. So, madidistinguish natin, guys, yung yung clustering natin. Not so much on the light colored, pero yung black talaga na yan, diyan talaga nagka-cluster. And that's a big difference between what we did a while ago na ang alpha natin is equal to 100%. Let's experiment pa natin, kalahati. Okay, this will be a bit darker. So medyo pareho na ng almost the same as 1 na. Nagkakaiba lang dito sa Hindi pa rin natin masyado makikita dito. Okay? Is that clear, guys? Ibabalik ko sa point 1 para medyo kita natin kahit papano yung transparency. Okay, yun. So medyo dito sa mga points na to, medyo talaga may clustering. All right. Clear so far? Any questions? Okay. Kung walang questions, let's proceed. Now, in-answer na natin po kanina, why is the setting of the alpha argument useful with scatter plots? Bakit kaya siya useful? Kasi makikita natin, guys, yung overplotting. Ibig sabihin yung overplotting, yung one point on top of each other, yung talaga nagko-congregate yung data natin. Dito makikita natin yung blocks na yan, talagang, yung ibig sabihin nagko-congregate talaga dyan. So these are, naman siya para, mga din siya, mga ahead of schedule na departure. So marami sa mga flights left ahead of schedule and arrived ahead of schedule. Okay? What further information does it give you that a regular scatter plot cannot? So yung regular scatter plot, ito. Yan ang regular scatter plot. Pero pag gumamit tayo ng transparency ng alpha, diba? Ano pa kayang information ang pwede natin makuha dyan? Anyone? Ano pa kayang information ang pwede natin makuha? Sabi nga natin kanina, it's more of the overplotting, no, na minimize natin yung overplotting. Tapos nakikita natin, guys, yung talaga, yung kung saan talaga nagko-concentrate yung mga data points natin. Using an alpha of 0.1, okay, gawin nga natin, sige, subukan natin 0.5, mas 0.05, mas very light, no? Although hardly visible na rin yung iba, pero kita natin yung dito talaga sa area nito, yung concentration ng data natin. Okay. So, sabi natin, how do we avoid overplotting? One way is to adjust the transparency, making use of alpha. Another way is to nudge it a bit, no? Using the jitter function. Si jitter parang ginalaw mo ng konti, inalog mo lang ng konti, no? Para lang medyo yung magkakasama, medyo alugin lang natin ng konti. Yun ang jitter function. Nudges the points a bit. So in the diagram below, okay, so here are, ano ba to? Right. I shared a file. So, wag na muna to guys, sorry ah. I'm going to share this picture. Pasensya, nakalimutan ko i-share to. No? Okay, I could have, this is a picture of a regular scatter plot versus a jittered scatter plot. Gawin na lang natin dito muna, no? Okay, so we have, let's take a look at this. You have ggplot again. The same data natin, yung Alaska flights. Same x-axis, y-axis, and then plus. Okay, so this tells us that we have another layer. So it's J yung jitter. So dinidefine dito kung ano yung width at saka ano yung height ng pag-jitter natin. So let's take a look at this. All right, what happened? Notice yung guys, parang parang nag-spread out sila ng konti itong mga to. Nag-spread out sila. Parang ginalaw mo, parang sinake mo ng konti, and then ang ginawa ni nag-ano lang siya ng a few centimeters. Okay? A few centimeters above and a few centimeters below. Ito 'yon, no? Ito. Subukan natin guys, hinto just recall that this 30-30. What if the jittering was 100 tapos 100? Anong mangyayari natin? Okay. Take a look, no? See guys, parang mas malaki yung alog niya, no? Well, medyo hindi na to, parang hindi na talaga siya in a sense describing our data set kasi talagang ginalaw na natin ng mas malaki, no? You get me guys? Parang sinake mo siya mas violent kaysa dun sa una. Kaya nag-adjust yung width at saka yung height ng 100. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, centimeters yata. No? You see the point guys? Kanina we used 30. What if we use a lower number? Kunyari 10 lang. I-adjust yung width at saka height ng 10. Run natin. Okay. Mas konti lang yung halos hindi nga gumalaw, no? Halos hindi rin gumalaw. So you can experiment on this. Okay, kung 50 naman, run ulit natin. Okay, so mas pronounce yung jittering niya, yung paggalaw. Okay, let me go back to 30. 30-30. Okay, so na-shake natin ng konti, na-nudge natin ng konti. Okay, we can guys, we can join this with with alpha, with the transparency, no? So jitter with alpha. So same code guys, dun sa yung jitter natin, width is 30. Pwede natin bawasan kunyari 20. And sige, 30 na lang muna para ma-compare natin dun sa taas. And then alpha of 0.2. Run natin to. Yan, see? Okay, so you have here jittering sinake natin at saka transparency using alpha of 0.2. Alright? Experiment pa tayo, 20-20. Huwag natin masyadong i-shake, 20-20. Right? Yan. Medyo sinake natin ng konti. Kita natin concentration talaga ng data natin andi dito. Okay, clear so far guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So, let me close this muna. Okay, note guys ang jittering lang siya, visualization tool. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ginagalaw natin siya ng a few centimeters, pero yung original na data, yung actual na data hindi ginagalaw. You get me guys? Visualization tool lang siya para medyo makita natin kung i-shake natin siya ng konti. Medyo maghiwa-hiwalay ng konti yung the data being one on top of each other. Okay? So when we do geom jitter, we're not actually changing the position of your original data. Okay, so yun ang unang ano natin guys, yung scatter plot natin. Now, another way to describe or to establish a relationship or to plot, guys, sorry, is a line graph. So si line graph naman, ganun din, guys. It shows a relationship between two numerical variables. Okay, one variable is on the x-axis, the other one is on the y-axis. Usually, the variable on the x-axis is called explanatory variable. Or kung time series siya, yung sequential nature ng data natin. Kunyari, yung time, yung month, yung year, yun ang linalagay sa x-axis. Okay. Most common example of line graphs have some notion of time on the x-axis. Okay, kasi linalagay natin yung time dun sa x kasi sa x dun linalagay kung ano yung sequential. Alright. So time series. Okay, ngayon guys, gagamitin natin another data set, si weather. From the flights data set, dito sa flights data set na in-access natin kanina, coming from NYC flights, there's another data set. Sabi ko nga si NYC flights, guys, it has several data sets with it. And that data set is yung weather. So i-access natin, guys. Let's see if this will run. Yeah, ito nag-run naman, no? Si question mark weather. Nag-run sa inyo, guys. Feedback please kung nag-run sa inyo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Tingnan natin ha, sabi weather. Saan daw galing yan? Saan galing? Yung data set na weather, saan galing yan, guys? Yan, no? Di ba? Sa NYC Flights 13. Okay, so far, we have looked at flights coming from NYC Flights 13. Meron ding weather. Ano daw laman ito? Hourly meteorological data coming from LaGuardia, JFK, John F. Kennedy, and Newark Airport. So sa New York City kasi tatlong airports nila. So ano yung mga laman yan? Origin, yung year, month, date, temp, humidity, wind direction. So ito yung laman ng ng data set ng weather. And it also gives us kung saan yung source ng data set na yan. Okay. So yun ang data set na titingnan natin ngayon. Okay, so let's go back to our code. I-view natin. Okay, so ito yung contents, guys. 26,115 entries, 14 variables. So this is another data frame, guys. It's a table, no? Check natin. I-glimpse natin to. Yan. Rows 26,115, 15 variables. And then ito yung mga laman ng mga variables niya. May character, may integer. Okay. Double, guys, numeric lang yan. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng may decimal place. DBL. Date and time ito. So we have different data types in this data frame. Okay, so ang gagawin natin ngayon, we'll work on the weather data frame again. Okay. So dito, we're going to filter the weather data frame. Kukunin na natin ang origin yung galing sa Newark and January, and the day is between 1 and 15. Okay, so ngayon, medyo madadagdagan yung konting filtering natin. And now, medyo ini-introduce ko na sa inyo yung power ni dplyr. Okay, that's a very powerful data manipulation. So out of the 26,000 rows, ang gusto lang natin, ang ibigay sa atin, ang origin lang, si EWR, tapos si January lang, tapos January 1 and between 1 and 15. Kasi if we take a look at our weather, ayan, di ba? So, iba't ibang months yan, no? May March hanggang December yan. November, December. Tapos, days, well, depende dun sa month. May mga 1 up to 31, etc. So, what do we want? Ang gusto lang natin, kasi merong EWR dito, di ba? Meron ding LaGuardia, meron ding JFK. Ang gusto lang natin yung origin lang coming from EWR, and then nung January lang, tapos yung day 1 hanggang 15. So i-exclude natin si 16 up to 31 of January, and the rest of the months i-exclude natin yan. So how do we filter? No? How do we filter this? Ito yung code natin. No? Okay, tingnan natin yung code natin. Let's create another object called early January weather. Okay, this is a new object. Tapos assignment operator natin. Okay, ano yung data na gagamitin, guys? Sabi natin sa pag-filter, magsisimula tayo sa data. We're going to use not the flights data but the weather data. And then we call this the pipe operator, guys. Assignment operator, yung less than or equal to. Pipe operator, yung percentage greater than percentage. No? As sinasabi dito, mag-create tayo ng data set. Ang pangalan, early January weather. Tapos, kunin natin from the weather data frame. And then, if i-filter yon, dapat yung origin equal to EWR lang. At saka yung month equal to 1. At saka yung day dapat less than or equal to 15 lang. Okay? Or another way to write it is this way. Nagkaiba lang sa day is equal to 1 up to 15. Okay, any questions with this code, guys? Okay, ulitin ko ha. Okay, good. Sige, ulitin ko na lang ha. Nagre-create tayo ng isang object. Ang pangalan, early January weather. Bakit kailangan may underscore? Hindi naman kailangan. It's really up to you, no? Kung anong pangalan na ibibigay mo dito. Of course, as much as possible, use a descriptive name. Early kasi 1 up to 15 lang, January, and weather. Of course, ang pangit naman kung masyado mahaba yung names, ano? Make it as concise as possible, but as descriptive as possible. And ano tong unang part of the code na to, yung data natin kung saan kukunin. Then we have the pipe operator, which comes from dplyr, guys, the package dplyr, a very powerful package for data manipulation. Okay? And then, ang gagamitin na filter. Later on, guys, titingnan pa natin ibang marami pang possible na na pwedeng gawin sa data. Yun ang next lesson natin after data visualization. And then, yung variable na origin dapat EWR lang, yung month dapat 1 lang, tapos yung day less than or equal to 15. Now, this one will also give the same result as this one. So, i-run ko lang to, guys. Highlight this. Control Enter. Alright. Hindi niya pinakita, no? Okay. Let's see, guys. Early January weather. Hindi pala plot yun, sorry. Okay, so we have now, sorry, this data set, guys. Ang pangalan niya, early January weather. Take note, guys, 358 entries na lang siya. If you're going to inspect this, okay, lahat siya EWR na lang. Lahat siya January and lahat siya from January 1 up to January 15. Now filter na, guys. Finilter ni R using our dplyr package yung gusto natin na dataset. Okay, clear so far, guys? Okay, this will also give you the same result. Kung irarana natin to, binago ko lang yung pangalan, guys. Ginawa kong 1 para to distinguish it from this one, but it will give us the same result. I leave that to you guys to run. Okay? Anong kaibahan nito guys? Itong early January weather natin, kay weather? Well, itong early January weather natin, subset na lang siya ng weather natin. Okay, so let's keep answering this first. Saka natin sagutin yan. No? Okay, now let's create a GG plot, a time line graph for this. Okay, so ano yung instructions dito? Use geom line. Okay, so kanina tinignan natin geom point, no? Tapos tinignan din natin yung geom smooth. In fact, we also looked at geom jitter. No? Si geom jitter related siya sa geom point. Kaso nga lang, you have to define yung width, no? At saka yung height ng pag-jitter. So ano daw yung pinapaplot sa atin dito? Hourly temperature in early January weather by using geom line. So tingnan muna natin yung data natin. Hourly temperature, ha? Okay. So saan yung hourly temperature dito? Okay, so this is our hourly temperature. Ano ba ibig sabihin nito? So kunyari, itong flight na to, so let me start here. Okay, so number one, observation number one. So this is a flight coming from Newark. Okay, January 1, first hour. Ano yung first hour na to? First hour, I think, so that's 12 to 1 o'clock, no? Ang temperature niya, 39.02. So second hour, so that's from 1 o'clock to 2 a.m. Ganun pa rin. So ito yung ipa-plot niya, guys. No? Ito yung ipa-plot. Alright, so let's go here. Back to our plotting. Okay, so you have, again, ggplot. Okay, then define our data. Dapat, importante yan para alam ni Art kung sinong data ang ginagamit. Kasi may mga flight, iba't ibang data na tayo dito, no? Iba't ibang data frames na tayo dito. And again, mapping is equal to aesthetics. Ano yung X natin? Ang X natin is time R. Okay? Ang Y natin is temperature. So, pinaplot natin yung temperature natin across time, no? Across time. Asa yung time R natin? Ito. Time R is here. No? Ayan, tama nga. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, etc. Okay, so let's run this, guys. Tapos plus, remember this, plus. Okay, plus. Geom line. So run. There. Okay, so you have a nicely created line. On your x-axis is your time R. On your y-axis is your temperature. And this is the plot of the hourly temperature from January 1 up to January 15. Any questions, guys?
None, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Now, just a few more questions because it's almost time. Guys, why should line graphs be avoided when there is not a clear ordering of the horizontal axis? Magandang ginagamit lang si line graph, guys, kung sequential yung data natin. Okay? So we're plotting a variable. We're trying to track of the time component, whether years, months, dates. Bakit kaya? Kasi kung hindi sequential, tas we're plotting two variables, mas maganda gamitin, guys, yung geom point, yung scatter plot. So mas maganda, ginagamit lang talaga si line graph. Kasi pag you're using line graph, guys, you're showing a sequentiality, no? Relationship between the previous value and the current value and the succeeding value. You get it, guys? Balikan natin to, guys. Balikan natin. Sorry, balikan natin tong ginawa natin kanina, ito. what would happen instead of geom point, no? Eh, hindi naman natin tinitingnan yung sequencing nito. Kasi relationship lang naman nito ng arrival date at saka departure date. What if we used here geom line? And, di ba? Ano sa tingin niyo mangyayari dito? Plot natin. Okay. So, ang ginawa niya, kinonect niya yung mga departure delays from one point to another point. Pero not necessarily naman na sequential yan. No? Okay, so mas maganda talaga ginagamit, guys, ang geom line. No? Okay, so ibabalik ko to geom point to. It's best to use a geom line kung may sequence yung data natin. Otherwise, kung walang sequence, it would be better to use a geom point. Clear yon, guys? Clear?
Sir.
Okay. So, sige guys, we'll stop there. Okay? And next meeting, which is on Monday, we will continue with the histograms. Okay? And then guys, I think June na tayo for exam. Wala pa tayong quiz. Matatapos yung December. So, may we have our first quiz on Wednesday, guys. Kailangan may first quiz na tayo. Ako na lang yata yung hindi pa nakakapag-quiz. It will cover from the beginning up to what we cover on Monday. Alright? Mag-first quiz na tayo para kasi the more we have quizzes, the more meron akong pwedeng i-cancel out, Okay, clear guys? So,
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
did you learn something today? Paki-yes or no lang, guys. Kung may natutunan ba tayo ngayon? Okay, good. Good. Salamat okay naman yung pace natin. Hindi naman mabilis, hindi naman mabagal. Okay lang. Paki-unmute na lang kung okay lang.
Okay lang naman, sir.
Okay, good, good. Please, guys, if you, I appreciate those who are asking questions or raising their questions. Thank you so much, kanina Bea. Thank you, John. And for the others also who ask questions, salamat. Hindi. Helen, wala tayong attendance. I didn't take attendance. Okay? So, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Ingat kayo lagi, guys. Okay? Salamat. Sige.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, guys, and God bless us all,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sige. Bye-bye.